Ayo, and what is up, gang? Thank you so much for joining me here again on the channel tonight. It is Monday, October the 23rd, and Monday Night Raw came to us from the Resch Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and we are here to talk about it like we always do, right here and right now, on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of the YouTube wrestling community, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Seth knows it. Bobby Roode knows it, and now you know it, so let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me again today. My name is Nick Nightmare. With me, as always, is my trusty tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, Blue the Snowball. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin. This edition of Monday Night Raw was very, very strange to me. 24 hours removed from one of their better offerings. It wasn't one of the best shows. It was essentially a one-match show. The Cruiserweight Tag Team match was a little bit of a surprise. The Alexa Bliss, Mickie James match was fine, but essentially that match left everybody talking about AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. We were all talking about it this morning. I know you guys were talking about it amongst your friends. I know for a fact everybody on Twitter and on social media was blowing up about this match this morning. It was still one of the highest trends on Twitter. AJ versus Finn stole the show. And what do these men get as a reward for that? I can only assume that Vince McMahon saw that match, saw the amount of wrestling that took place, and immediately was like, no. We can't have this. Punish these guys tomorrow, done, because that was too much wrestling. They made everybody else look very, very bad. There's no way Roman can do things like that. There's no way. No way. So they were punished tonight. Are you going to tell me that after performing one of the best matches he's had on the main roster, probably the best match we've seen, that feeding Finn Balor to Kane was the right thing to do tonight? That's the only explanation. He's being punished for outshining the entire roster. What other reason could there be? Do we really need Kane to be built up, to be fed to Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman is more than established. Kane's appearance in this whole thing, this whole weekend long, has done nothing but infuriate me to the bone. There is no reason why we have to keep reaching out to the old-timers, especially guys like this. I honestly don't understand why he'd even agree to this, unless he's not taking his current personal situation with running for mayor that seriously, that he's willing to go on TV and be Kane again right now, while he's in the middle of doing something important. And why Vince and company would even ask this man, knowing what his intentions are, knowing what he's doing in his personal life, to derail everything he's got to do for what? For a program with Braun Strowman? It doesn't make sense to me. This show had a lot of things that did not make sense, and I'm gonna get to it right now. Let's pull up the Raw review screen and get this show officially underway. I'm gonna pull up my notes, this way I don't go all over the place. Let's start right at the top. Kurt Angle comes out, looks to be in great shape following a brutal beating at the hands of 5 men last night, but he seemed to be okay tonight. He came out and announced the plans for Survivor Series, and within the first 10 minutes, I was already lit up. I was already pissed off, because the rumors that we had been hearing about are true, and we are going to go with this interbrand champion versus champion thing in every single division. It's not just going to be for the women. It's not just going to be for Brock and Jinder, which is something we will get into a little bit later. It's for the tag teams, and it's for the mid-card titles. And outside of the tag team match, none of these matches make sense to me at all. You have two scenarios where you have a heel Miz and a heel Baron Corbin going one-on-one with their respective titles. There's no ramifications. It's not title for title. We're not unifying anything, which is what they should be doing. If you're going to do this, that's what you should be doing. That should be the end game. Unify these titles, have one solid mid-card division, unify the brands again. The brand split doesn't mean anything, which is why what happened at the end of tonight's Raw really infuriated me. We will get to that. Angle announces the card for Survivor Series, and then The Miz would come out. Of course he would. And I guess now Sheamus and Cesaro are part of the Miztourage, I guess. Are they official members now that Bo Dallas is gone still with the meningitis? I don't know. Or do they truly just have nothing better for these guys to do than to play second fiddle to The Miz? The Miz comes out saying Kurt Angle's just doing everything he's doing to feed his ego. And he should not have gotten himself involved in the match. He should have left it a 5-on-2. Rollins and Ambrose were fine with that. He did that for himself. And then the Miztourage would surround Angle, Shield style, which means everybody knows the Shield was going to come out. I thought for sure Roman Reigns was coming out with them tonight, but I would be wrong. Rollins and Ambrose came out to make the Shield for their, to make the save for their Shield brethren, Kurt Angle. Give me a break. So Kurt Angle would go on and announce for the Miztourage to not go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, because you guys are going to have a match. And it's not going to be against us three. It's going to be against the Shield and this guy who decided to stick around for some unknown reason, which would come to light a little bit later on. I was a little bit upset at the fact he was there. And AJ Styles would be announced as the partner for the Shield. A former leader of the Bullet Club being aligned with the Shield, a faction that is right now taking shots at the actual Bullet Club. So part of me wonders if that's being done just as a twist of the knife in the back of the Bullet Club. Like, hey, you guys with your too sweet, look what we did with your two leaders, and now we're going to take this one and we're going to put him with the Shield. How about that? You like that, Bullet Club? I feel like that's what they're doing. That it's an intentional rub against these guys. Yes, during this 6-man tag team match, AJ Styles would get the pin. And it was a very good match. You can't not have a good match when AJ Styles is involved. And the talent of Rollins and Ambrose, it's always been there. Sheamus and Cesaro can go when given great opponents. The Miz is just The Miz. It just needs to come to an end at this point. Lose the Intercontinental Championship to somebody and go home and be a daddy for a little while. Come back when you're ready. Maybe I'll be over what this nonsense I've been put through with The Miz is. I'm saying you, like I'm talking to him directly. He's not going to watch this show, and if he does, he needs to listen up, because it's time for The Miz to go away. They have overexposed The Miz to the point where I don't want to see him anymore, and I actually enjoy The Miz. So that's sad, and it's unacceptable to me. His Intercontinental Championship run on Raw has been a flop. It started off on the Blue Brand on fire. And then you have this, where we've come to now. Barely even defending the title. It's always used as a prop. And it's stupid. And I hate it. So the Shield with AJ would win. But AJ would not fall without punishment, because for some unknown reason, Kane comes out, lays waste to the Shield, and AJ Styles clears the ring, and then would have some things to say to Braun Strowman. Like any of us want to see Kane versus Braun Strowman. Do you want to see Kane versus Braun Strowman? Do you want to see Kane at all? Because I certainly don't. Good gravy. Gravy. You see what I'm reduced to? I gotta say gravy so that we can keep ourselves to be ad-friendly. Good gravy. I don't mind gravy anymore. I used to hate gravy. Nonetheless, Kane would come out, talk some trash about Braun Strowman, saying he's the only monster in the WWE. That's your reason for challenging the monster among men, because he calls himself a monster? One of the pettiest, most ridiculous reasons anybody would ever want to fight anybody ever. Well, I said I'm the monster. You can't be the monster. What are we, in a schoolyard? We got two kids trying to pick who they're going to be while everybody's playing? No, I'm the monster guy. No, I'm the monster guy. Braun Strowman should laugh this off. We had no Braun Strowman on the show at all tonight. I guess maybe they couldn't get him out of the back of that garbage truck. Or maybe they actually killed the man and don't want to come clean yet. Who knows? Remains to be seen. Kane, much like Braun Strowman used to do, says, I want competition. I'm going to do what Braun Strowman does. I want competition or else. Right? So, I couldn't imagine who was going to come out other than Braun Strowman. But that would not be the case here. The call would be answered by Finn Balor. Now, initially, I thought, hey, this might be a good thing. Because the rumors are stating that coming up for Brock Lesnar next, after this Jinder Mahal nonsense, is Finn Balor. And what better way to start building up Finn Balor's credibility, coming off the heels of the best match he's put on for the WWE, than by putting him over against this guy, and then let everybody see Kane go away, and we can all vote for Glenn. If you want to vote for Glenn, if you're from where he's from and you're allowed to vote for Kane, whose name is Glenn Jacobs, go vote for Glenn and stay the mayor. You want to go be the mayor? Go be the mayor. Get out of here. It's unwanted nostalgia. It's unnecessary, and it's killing the show. And then, not only is it killing the show, everything that I would assume and everything that I would hope would happen, we would get the absolute opposite. And what do we get? We get Kane winning clean after 3 choke slams on Finn Balor. Way to put over the new talent, guys. Way to build your new demon. You want to be petty about names. Kane was also known as the demon, the big red machine. Samoa Joe's the Samoan submission machine. Can there be only one machine? Can there be only one demon? And it's all Kane, and they got to go through Kane to get their namesakes? Is that what this is about? For Braun Strowman, this is ridiculous. This was absolutely ridiculous. This is a farce, and this is a disgrace. This is an absolute disgrace to professional wrestling, especially, as I said, when coming not even a full 24 hours after he put on the best match at the pay-per-view. They saved that pay-per-view from being a total and complete failure. Not that it pretty much was, with the way it ended, with that overbooked and chaotic nonsense that seemingly was never ending and made no sense, which led us to this Raw, which made no sense even further, and we have Kane still around. It wasn't one-off at the pay-per-view like I was hoping. He's around, he's going to be fighting Braun Strowman, and the first sacrifice is Finn Balor. I'm applauding how you guys reward your talent for fantastic athleticism, for good matches, for saving the day, for taking a situation and making the best of it. Going out there and tearing the house down, leaving it all out there for this company in order to make the fans feel like they got their money's worth. You gave away this dream match for free, not for free, but for way before it should have been given at a TLC throwaway pay-per-view. And it's going to be one of the most talked about matches of the year. You have AJ Styles and Finn Balor to thank for that, and this is what you do to them? Unacceptable. I hate it. Nice way to reward them for bailing the company out. Let's just essentially make them look like schmucks on Monday Night Raw. Kill Finn Balor's momentum completely, and he'll probably be thrown back to the Sister Abigail angle upon Bray Wyatt's return, which nobody wanted to see to begin with, and we still don't want to see. But with the way things were going tonight, you have to believe that they don't care about Finn Balor, regardless how good the man is. He needed to win that match, and he didn't. Very disappointing. I'll tell you what else is disappointing. Asuka would make her debut on Monday Night Raw against the same opponent she fought just the night before, Emma. Now, initially, I was okay with the match yesterday, but after that, I didn't want Emma to be squashed, but I didn't think that they were going to give her the level of offense that they gave her, and they're actually, by continuing it tonight, they are really making Asuka not look like anything special. She looks like one of the girls. She looks as average could be. Looks like a good wrestler when she's supposed to be an annihilating machine. She's supposed to be unstoppable. 500 plus days as champion with only one woman coming even close. And this is how you book her? Not that I have anything against Emma. I don't. She's fantastic and she's talented, and she proved that in these two matches, but this was not the time for that. Asuka's supposed to be making a splash. This is not supposed to be the re-emergence of Emma. The way they're booking her and the way that she's fighting Asuka, Emma should be able to beat everybody else with no problem, with ease. And she should be walking around with the championship. If she could fight Asuka like that, there is no reason why she can't beat Alexa Bliss. None. Zero. Nada. It makes no sense. I didn't want it over in 3 minutes, excuse me. But, 5-6 minutes, not so much offense. Just let Asuka tear her apart. Let Emma shine in the defensive role. She can do that as well. I don't understand why they are booking Asuka in this light. And it only goes to prove everything that we've said on this channel, and many other people have said as well, that it's only a matter of time before everything that is special about Asuka is completely and totally wiped away. And her first two matches, within a 24-hour period, she has been made to look like an average professional wrestler. Nothing special in these performances about Asuka at all. I guess we'll have to wait for a pay-per-view to see what she could really do. Or maybe they'll figure it out and start booking her in some squashes. I don't know, man. I don't know. This show made me really just unsure of everything that's going on, and I feel like nobody really knows what they're doing. And it's only more proof of the fact that, yeah, alright, you got blindsided by these sicknesses, right? And you have these talents that can't perform. But you should have a contingency plan in play. Wrestling is a physical sport. People get hurt. So there should always be a plan B way in place. This show, every single show, should be finalized the week prior with a backup script in case anybody gets hurt. Every single storyline should have Road A and Road B. That's what you pay creative writers for, to give you scenarios. And whatever happens, you be prepared. As prepared as you can be. Obviously, you can't write a story for every single situation. But you know the most common things that you guys are up against. Injuries, drug tests, things of that nature. So have a backup plan. Well, if this guy, for some reason, can't do it, we're going to shift gears and it'll play its way this way down the river instead. But it's still the river that we want it to run through. But they make it look like there is no plan at all. Every single Monday I say this, Kurt Angle comes out and he's the general manager, and it seems that he books the show on the fly. Is there no plan for this show, or are we just coming out every week waiting for people to argue so that Kurt can say, oh, okay, you guys are mad, you'll have a match tonight. You know what? Bring 2 more of your buddies and we'll make it 6-man matches, and we'll have 10-man matches, and we'll have all triple threats and fatal 5-ways and all this nonsense. Which doesn't make sense. What else would not make sense? 5 Feet of Fury Alexa Bliss comes down to the ring. She wants to remind everybody that she is the goddess of the WWE, and she deserves and wants some respect, and she wants the fans to chant for her. And she gave them the chant to chant, and that's "You deserve it," because she beat the grandma and the queen of the old people, Mickie James, and she is the best in the women's division, and everything she wanted to say, and she wanted the crowd to say, "You deserve it." The crowd, of course, in Green Bay would not oblige Miss Bliss, which would prompt Mickie James to come out and kick her face off. Like, it just looked like she took her face right off with the boot. It was a legit kick. It was pretty badass. But what was the point of this if Alexa won last night with no controversy attached to it, and she's being moved forward to fight Natalya? We'll get to that another time. At SummerSlam in a couple of weeks. At Survivor Series in a couple of weeks. What was the point of Mickie James interjecting? Are we going to have another women's championship match on Raw, where the possibility for Mickie to be the one to challenge Natty at Survivor Series with the championship, finally winning her 7th? We've been down this road. We can't do this again. She said goodbye. She said it's not going to be her last chance at the women's championship, and then she went away. And then she came back the next night. It doesn't make sense. We cut to Kurt Angle in the back with Sasha Banks and Bayley, who are happy that Kurt Angle wrestled again, and Bayley gives him a hug like a jerk, and Kurt wants them to have a match so that we can decide who the captain of Survivor Series women's match is going to be. And then it would start to go in a very unusual and very unfortunate direction as Alicia Fox interjects herself into this thing, screaming like the banshee that she is, making me cringe to the bone with every word that she speaks. At least she was wearing her t-shirt that she had to open her mouth and get. And I'm starting to wish that she didn't, because now she's getting put in spots that she does not deserve to be in, which we will also get more into later when we cover the fact that Kurt Angle made a triple threat match and inserted Alicia Fox into this match. So the 3 of these ladies now have a chance to be the captain of the Survivor Series team. And I immediately hand to whatever God you pray, I swear to them. Okay? I knew this was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. I said right off the onset, with the way things are going tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if Alicia Fox wins this thing. And she certainly did. And we will go over that in just a minute. We had Elias come out. And I want to walk with Elias. I tell you guys this every single week. It's great. He, however, would be put into another situation with Jason Jordan. He was singing a song, or trying to sing a song. He was generating awesome amounts of heat from the crowd. He got the crowd so fired up that they started to chant for the Packers and didn't let up for almost a solid minute. It was pretty deep. And he said, "Go Pack, go. I'd rather you guys just go home. You know, he's here to sing a song, and you guys don't want to let him sing his song." And then he was starting to apparently have technical difficulties, which, in case you were born underneath a rock, or were hiding underneath the rock and were born yesterday, or any combination of those two things, you knew who was playing with the audio. He actually blamed, I believe the guy's name was Lucius, or something really weird like that, or Lando, or something weird, whoever the technician really is, he called him out by name. He's like, if that's you, I'm going to beat your ass. And then it would be, as I automatically assumed, Jason Jordan. This, once again, leading to my point that I said earlier, this match would just be made. Just on the fly. And then Corey Graves has to explain to everybody and try to say, well, Jason Jordan asked Kurt Angle for this match earlier today. Why would he ask him for this match if he won last night? I don't deem whatever happened controversial enough for there to be any type of an issue. He got a 3 count on Elias. Jason Jordan gets the win. Why is he challenging Elias for a rematch? He got the win. What else does he need to prove? That doesn't make sense. Another impromptu match just made on the fly. Because there's no structure for Monday Night Raw. And this match probably wasn't even on the card as of yesterday. But they needed to fill time. So let's just do what we did yesterday in a different way. This match, however, would end in a little bit different scenario as it did last night. Jason Jordan got the win. But tonight, Elias Sampson would get himself disqualified. And Jason Jordan would not pin the Drifter, as he would bash Jason Jordan with his guitar. He needs to give a name to that guitar. He needs to name that guitar. It would get over much bigger if that guitar had a name, and this way I could reference it, much like Lucille, because that's what he swung it like. So we're going to say he swung that beautiful Lucille guitar right into the shoulder and upper arm area of Jason Jordan, because we're not allowed to do headshots anymore, and it left one hell of a welt on him. You can see it. They definitely made sure to mention it because it was about as big as a grapefruit and it was red as a tomato. Maybe I'm a little hungry because I'm talking about so much food here. But, be as it may, it was pretty vicious. I love me some Elias. Jason Jordan's still got a long way to go. His wrestling ability is great. I feel like he's got to just come out of whatever this shell he's in. And being Kurt Angle's adopted wrestler son is not helping him out. Not in the least. And I wish that would end very quickly. My favorite part of this night, which should come as no surprise to most of you, would be Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Now, originally I was not looking forward to this response. I was in the camp saying Brock Lesnar should come out tonight and just absolutely laugh into the microphone and then drop the mic and leave. That's his answer to Jinder Mahal. But I'm glad they didn't do that, because in place of that, we got another epic Paul Heyman promo where he pretty much buried Jinder Mahal and said everything that every single one of us is thinking about the man. And everything that we're thinking about this matchup to begin with. Brock's response via Paul Heyman. Heyman says, every man wants to trash talk nowadays, but I'm the king of trash talk. However, I've never talked trash about Goldberg, and rightfully so. I never talked trash about Samoa Joe, and rightfully so. I never talked trash about Braun Strowman, because these were viable, worthy contenders to the Beast Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. But you, the make-believe Maharaja, who have the sing-along brothers behind you trying to do my gimmick, my shtick, he said. You are nowhere near Lesnar's equal. You are not a WWE champion. When we think, and the WWE fans think of champions, we think of Bruno Sammartino. We think of Shawn Michaels, Triple H. He went down the whole line of legends, and the crowd just exploded. They were laughing, they were having a good time, and they were right behind Paul E. with every single word he said. Paul E. would go on to say, Jinder is a pretender, no truer words ever spoken there, and is unworthy of both the WWE Heavyweight Championship and the honor of being beaten and victimized and conquered by the Beast. But if Mahal wants to follow in Randy Orton's shoes and tempt fate by crossing brand lines to fight Brock Lesnar, the Conqueror would be more than happy to give him what he asked for. Paul Heyman's promo gave me chills tonight. It's not the first time I've heard that. It's the first time we've heard it from Paul E., that's for sure. But it is a very widely echoed sentiment here in the YouTube wrestling community. Many of my podcast friends shout this from the rooftop. I am amongst one of them. This is how the real wrestling fans and the wrestling community feels about Jinder Mahal. This match is a joke. It's very obvious that Brock Lesnar is looking at it as such. Paul Heyman is looking at it as such. They have not done this all year with any of the other contenders for the championship. And in this case, it's rightfully so. Jinder Mahal deserved to be buried like that tonight. I hope he doesn't look at it as a piece of scripted nonsense and that he takes it as the criticism that it is from one of the greatest wrestling minds you will ever hear from in your life. That's how I look at it. After this, we had the triple threat for the captainship of the Raw Women's Survivor Series Tag Team. I would have rather this have been a singles match between Bayley and Sasha, because there would have been the perfect opportunity to really start to plant the seeds of dissension between these two besties and for one of them to eventually turn. At this point, I don't care which one, but one of them needs to change because it's stale as 3-week-old open crackers. And like I said, I fully expected Alicia Fox to somehow pull out the victory just because. And I wish to God I wasn't right. But I was right, you guys. And as of right now, Alicia Sucks, is the captain of the Raw Women's Tag Team for Survivor Series. Are you kidding me? So all it takes for these guys is to go on a podcast, any podcast. What is Lillian Garcia's numbers? Does anybody know? Does she have like this must-hear podcast that everybody tunes in and listens to, that they had to make this change to Alicia Fox because there was a fan outcry over what she said on this podcast, that they needed to insert her into this whole situation in such a main event level now by putting her as the captain of a Survivor Series team, and she hasn't been on the show for 3/4 of the damn year? But she's going to captain this team, right? With the way that it all ended tonight, she's going to be the lead on the team of Raw for this invasion, to battle Shane McMahon and his team, who came tonight with purpose and to fight. I'm overselling it there, but I'm just trying to make sense of this. Why wouldn't you want your best person as the captain? Asuka should be the captain. Sasha and Bayley, you don't need to be captain. You need to be part of the team. But nobody is better and nobody is ready for Asuka. She should be leading the charge. She should be leading the charge of the women's division, especially after the way the show went off the air tonight. Alicia Fox, as the captain here, makes this SmackDown versus Raw Survivor Series match already a joke before we even know who else is in it. Doesn't matter. And I don't care. She's going to cost them the match by being some lunatic, crazy bat broad. Fox lady, take a seat. Go back to the back where you belong. Go worry about your love life. Go hang out with Noam Dar. Because we don't need to see him no more either. After this triple threat match between the women, which the only good thing throughout the whole thing actually was there was this nice little spot where they did a Tower of Doom, right? And then after that, Alicia would lose her mind and start screaming, "I don't want to play this game anymore." And then she would go grab the ring bell and start ringing the ring bell for about 2 minutes. And it was just some of the most cringe stuff I've ever seen. And then she gets back into the ring and is allowed to win this match. It hurts my brain. It hurts my brain. Main event, 10-man tag team match. Cruiserweight division match. The Zo Train. Are you serious with this? These guys are really with him? The four of these guys came out back in Enzo Amore tonight, doing his dance, you know, his little leg dance thing. I can't do it because I'm sitting down. I'm trying my best to do it for you guys. You know, that's my little Enzo. How you doing? Alright? These guys were doing this behind him. They look like a bunch of jerks. None of them could even do it right. This was a senseless match. It went on the air at about 10:30, and I was like, wow, they're going to give this match 30 minutes? This might actually be good if they do that. Boy, was I sheepish. I should have smacked myself in the face for even assuming so. 5 men to choose from on this team to eat the pinfall and lose to Team Lucha Lucha. Team Lucha Lucha, I'm going to lose my Luncha Luncha. Give me a break with this. You know what? This match should be booked for Survivor Series. Should have been elimination style. Should have gave them at least 20 minutes and let these guys go out and be a cruiserweight showcase. Beautiful, right? No, we get it as the main event of Monday Night Raw in a rushed 12-minute segment for 10 guys to try to get everything that they've got in 10 minutes. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. The best thing that could be said for this whole entire segment is actually, and I can't believe I'm even saying this, is Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak would play the part of Enzo Amore tonight because Enzo's voice was absolutely shot, which I am going to attribute again, just like viral meningitis coming down from the gods. This is a gift from the gods. But what it shows is that Enzo Amore, without his voice, is essentially Batman without his toys. He's just some crazy guy that's all dressed up in some ridiculous outfit that kind of fights. You know, Batman without the gadgets and the vehicles, it's not much. You know, sure, he knows how to fight, but he's not going to take down the best criminals in the world with just his 2 fists. He needs to use his brains, and he needs to use some toys. Enzo Amore's got no toys, and he's got no brains. And when you take his weapon away, which is that microphone, he's nothing. And the fact that he made it a point to be that weaselly type of character that doesn't want to get in the ring and doesn't want to actually fight, it makes it even worse. Because if you can talk the talk, you need to walk the walk. And I would be able to suffer through everything Enzo's been doing if he was able to go down and give us a 4 or 5-star match with these guys, because these guys are all talented enough to do so. We've seen them all do it in the Cruiserweight Classic, and it's just ridiculous that this is what the Cruiserweight division has come to. Especially, again, much like with AJ and Finn, 24 hours removed from one of the better matches that we've had, and then you don't even have Kendrick and Gallagher involved in this scenario, when they are 2 of your clear-cut talents, and their team that they've been fighting against, their rivals, are on the opposing team for the Zo Train. I don't even want to call them that. That's the last time we're saying that crap. I'll tell you that right now. Gulak delivered the champ's intro, but the rest of this was just a spot fest, pretty much. Just whatever they can get in 10 minutes. We had some suicide dives and moonsaults, and then the Selena del Sol by Kalisto on Enzo pinning the champion, which we all know. If you're a fan, you know how much that pisses me off. You had 5 guys on that team to choose from, like I was saying, to eat the pinfall, and you make the champ lose. You couldn't have had Gulak take the pin. You couldn't have had Noam Dar take the pin. It still is a loss for Enzo in a way because his team lost. You made him look bad. You give Kalisto the rub. You make Kalisto look good. And the champ remains the champ. The fact that they're even having a championship match on 205 Live this week only makes me very, very afraid that they are going to flop this thing right back to Kalisto. Because how much legroom does this Enzo thing actually have? How far is it going to go? It can't go far because the guy's no good in the ring. Him being struck with laryngitis is a gift from the gods. and it exposes him for what he is, which is nothing more than a big, shiny microphone. And Blue is much more handsome than he is. So, Blue wins. Winner and still World Heavyweight Champion. The show would now take a turn that nobody expected, even though Shane McMahon did show up at some point in some of this madness. He was backstage for some reason, bumped into Kurt Angle, and said the words "Under Siege." And I laughed at that. I laughed out loud, like, "Under Siege? What is he talking about?" Well, he was talking about how he was going to end the show tonight. Kurt Angle would come out to reveal the Raw Survivor Series team for the men. But we would not even get that, as Shane McMahon's music would hit and they would come down invasion style from the arena, from the fans, much like the Shield does, and I didn't understand it. They surrounded the ring. Nobody really said anything except "Under Siege," Shane McMahon says. And then he tells everybody to get him. And Kurt Angle runs away, and then they run into the back, and like gang warfare, it looked forced. It looked disingenuous. It looked like none of them were truly angry. It looked like they were acting like a rowdy crowd. So many of them were smiling in the back. Even the Phenomenal One I caught grinning and smiling because they were just goofing around. And you had this whole army being led by the New Day who were just barking around like dogs. How does anybody not hear them coming? How are they catching people by surprise when it's a rowdy crowd? It's like a rush of water, like a flood coming down the hallway of blue. You don't see this coming and get the hell out of the way? You don't hear the ruckus? You don't rally the troops? You don't look out the locker room door and be like, "Oh, snap, SmackDown's beating people up out there. Let's get these guys." No, we just let everybody get beaten up. You see, and Goldust getting thrown around in the back, Kurt Hawkins getting thrown around in the back. They hit the locker room. They got Jason Jordan. They got Matt Hardy. They got the Shield. As the Shield would try to ambush this team of like 30. So now it was going to be like 2 on 30. The best part of this whole thing was, for me, when Baron Corbin was walking past the set, and there's this little production assistant standing there with his headphones, and he just kept there, "Who are you? Who are you?" And then he would take the kid off screen, and we don't know if we'll ever see him again. I don't know if Baron Corbin ate him, or beat him up, or did something even more inappropriate to him. Who knows? Because I don't even remember seeing Baron Corbin again. It was a mess. It was a big, scary mess. It reminded me very much of the end of the pay-per-view last night. Just overbooked and a lot of stuff going on, way too much stuff going on. But in this scenario, there is no reasoning behind it. And I want to just give props 1 second to Corey Graves, because, I mean, at least while this is all going down, they made mention of the fact that there is no bad blood between Raw and SmackDown. Since the brand split, there has been no history of competition. There has been nothing between the two as far as animosity or jealousy, brand supremacy. It's never been an issue. Apparently it is now. We're going to address it. We're going to rush it, and it's going to be over in 2 weeks. Something to be excited about? I don't think so. It makes you think, I guess. But a SmackDown Invasion of Raw, 2 weeks before a pay-per-view, the Survivor Series, where we already know there's going to be interpromotional matchups, can't come across as anything more than a forced piece of garbage. If you really wanted to get this thing over, you would have started planting the seeds for this as soon as the brand split happened. That's what the smart person would have done. You would always have the champions taking shots at each other on social media. Anytime a co-branded pay-per-view would be booked, there should be turmoil in the back. You know, jabs thrown, verbal sparring between some of the best talent in the world. Maybe the guys at SmackDown really do feel like their show is better. It was at one point. If you would have started this back then when SmackDown was red hot right at the beginning of the year and you had The Miz on fire and you had everybody really behind the blue brand for a short amount of time, you would have started this then. By the time we got here, this is an epic and most wanted encounter. But instead you hold and you hold and you hold and you don't pull the trigger and you don't stay true to anything, and there's a way to work around injuries. We've already covered that. If you did it right and you planned things ahead of time like you used to. You know, back in the day, it was not uncommon for you to hear, like, because I watch all the behind-the-scenes stuff. I am a very big documentary guy, and I've seen almost every single WWE one that there is to see, and the WWE Network is great for that. And you can go back and listen, and there are many, many examples. I can't pinpoint them exactly right now, but they will tell you that there has been more than one occasion that it's not just the venue for WrestleMania that's planned, that they have the whole year's worth of planning. This is what we're doing. This is WrestleMania. We're starting the day after WrestleMania 31. The trek to 32 begins, and so forth. And they used to have it already planned. By the time they were filming and shooting WrestleMania 31, 32 was written and put in the can. Boom. This whole year, it's pretty much done. We will change things if needed. We might have a signing here and there where you might have to make some changes, but the plan should never stray. Unfortunately, the plan they're on right now is the Roman Reigns plan, and now they decide they don't want to stray from the long-term plans. Now, when they need to stray more than ever, because tonight's Raw was a mess. There was nothing on this show worth watching. Nothing. And I'm including the opening match with AJ Styles, because it made no sense. Finn versus Kane was a decent match, actually, up until Kane got over-aggressive and was clear at one point by the third chokeslam that Finn's going to lose here. And I can't take that. They did it to Shinsuke. They did it to Joe. They're doing it to Finn. They did it to Strowman. They build these guys up just to knock them down. And it's a goddamn shame. That's going to do it for tonight, you guys. Monday Night Raw was a mess. I am afraid for the future. Survivor Series is already shaping up to be a heaping pile of trash. But we will soldier on, and we will be here to bring you the coverage like we always do. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe if you have not joined the Sledgehammer Club by now. I don't know what you guys are waiting for, especially if you got to 48 minutes into this video. You liked the show. You know you agreed with what I had to say. Smack that subscribe button right in the face. Hit the ringside bell to begin your journey with us here on Sledgehammer TV. And don't forget while you're down there to check out Clutch Chairs, our sponsor, our first and only sponsor right now. All you need to do is click that link in the description below, and you have greatly helped out this show and supported me, and I would very, very much appreciate all of it. That is going to do it, everybody. My name is Nick Nightmare. With me, as always, my boy Blue, the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones, my tag team partner. And we are out of here. And we will see you next time, right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Only on Sledgehammer TV, available to you on YouTube.com. Thank you guys, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. And hopefully, and I'm saying this with a grain of salt, we'll start to make the turn for the better. I severely doubt it. Thank you for the support and love for this week. It's been a great, great weekend on the channel. We will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. Thank you so much. Good night.